Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over two new palettes from Too Faced. The first one is the Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. Now if you remember the Gingerbread palette, this is the extra spicy version of it, and it is a limited edition. As well as this palette right here, which is the Hot Buttered Rum little mini palette, and this one as well is limited edition. What I'm going to do is give you guys two different looks with the extra spicy gingerbread palette, and then one look, which is the one that I'm wearing right now, with the hot buttered rum palette. I'm also going to be doing comparisons later on in the video of other palettes in the range, so if you're interested in that, just keep watching. But before I do, I'm going to get into the information on these. The retail price of this palette is $49. However, right now, as of the time that I am filming, Too Faced is having a friends and family sale, so their entire site is 20% off. So Ulta and Sephora are price matching. So you can get this for $39.20, which is basically $10 off of the palette. Unfortunately, I bought this before the sale. I got mine at Sephora and I paid the $49. I wish I had waited, but I didn't know that that was coming. Anywho, if you look at the packaging, you got the cute little gingerbreads on here, and then you have the traditional tin type of packaging that Too Faced is known for. On the inside, you are getting the large mirror. You have two little gingerbread cookies right here, and then these are the extra spicy shades. For the swatches, we have vanilla wafers, a matte cream, butter cookie, soft peach gold, soft and sweet, described as a matte soft pink brown. For the gram, I love that name, matte peachy brown, in a pinch, matte deep pumpkin, drizzle it, burnt rose gold, lick the spoon, pink gold with silver pearl, spicy mammy, orange copper glitter, extra spicy, matte red orange, half baked, a mustard brown metallic, butterscotch, matte mustard yellow, cookie call, matte mahogany, plenty of dough, described as a soft peach, candy queen, a yellow brown with gold pearl, gingerbread glam, rustic brown, hot tamale, soft ruby pink, cinnamon, a matte brick brown, and midnight snack, a deep blue with icy blue silver sparkle. For the mini palette Hot Buttered Rum, this one retails for $25 and it is currently on sale for $20. Again, you are getting the tin packaging and you are getting a mirror on the inside. And these are the shades that we have here. For the shades in this palette, we have Whipped Cream, a Frosted Pearl, Bottoms Up, a Matte Latte, Born to Rum, a Metallic Copper, Spiked, Brown with Gold Sparkle, Vanilla Extra, Matte Warm Cream, Warm and Fuzzy, Metallic Champagne, Cinnamon, Matte Auburn Brown, and Buttered Rum, Matte Butterscotch. I'm going to go ahead and get into the two eye looks that I did with the Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette, and then we will move on to this eye look right here that I used with the Hot Buttered Rum. Royal and Langnickel BOM 46 in the shade In a Pinch. I am going to start this on the very outer corner. That's a lot of pigmentation. Then I'm going to work it up. Just doing this very, very effortlessly. Bringing it into the transition area. The excess on the inner portion right here of the crease. Same brush and Extra Spicy. Again, I'm starting on the very outer corner. Just placing this on the lid, bringing it about halfway over, and then working it into the crease and slightly upward. Again, very pigmented, so you don't really have to do a lot. Seems to do the work for you. Very smooth. So far, so good. MAC 221 and Gingerbread Glam. You guessed it, right on the outer corner. One thing that's really nice though is that these are going on top of each other and blending out very nicely. I'm not seeing them getting patchy or anything like that. I'm taking this into the crease, but I'm not going to blend this up as high, nor am I going to bring it all the way in. Circular motions to blend this upward just on the outer corner. I'm going to take Drizzle It on a MAC 242. I'm going to place this all over the front portion of the lid, packing and then swiping. I'm going to tap over that last dark brown we did. Same brush, I just wiped it off and now I'm taking Cookie Cutter. I'm applying this to the brow arch. And then I'm going to slowly blend it out and clean up the edge of that orangey tone, like the peachy tones. But I want the majority of the product to be right at the brow arch. Royal Inlay Nickel BOM 47, and now I'm taking the shade Spicy Mammy. I'm not even gonna lie, when I first looked at this shade, I thought it said Spicy Miami. I'm just taking this right along the lower lash line, and I'm gonna be honest, it is applying much better than I thought it would. I specifically grabbed this shade because when I touched it, I felt like it was a little iffy. It just goes to show that sometimes you think that a shade isn't going to work or you're going to have to wet it, and that's not always the case. Because this is going on very nicely. It's dry, blending out well, even on top of powder. I didn't have to buff away the powder, so it's working nicely. Now I'm going to go in with Cookie Call on a Wayne Goss number 5. I am first, slowly, I am going to get this right up against the lower lash line. That's a whole lot of color. Going back in with my Royal Inlay Nickel BOM 47. No additional product, I'm just going to blend that out. That shade has some color and also a little bit of fallout, but that's okay. I'm also very carefully going to stamp this right at my lash line at the top. If I was going to finish off this look, which I'm not because I'm not going to put on mascara or anything, but if I was going to put liner on, like in my inner rim, I would use MAC Costa Riche. I'm just kind of buffing this, the excess right up against the lash line at the bottom. I would use Costa Riche from MAC because it would really bring out the spiciness of this look. I'm not going to do that. But if I was going to, I just want to let you guys know, that would be stunning. Oh my gosh, and if you have green eyes, my eyes are hazel. Sometimes they look green, sometimes they look a little brown and green. But if you have green eyes, this look bomb. I would add something to the inner corner to brighten it up, but I really like the smokiness of this and the spiciness of it all. So I'm going to leave it as is, and now I'm going to move on to the other eye. BK Beauty 201 and Cinnamon. I'm going to start this shade right into the crease. Again, pigmentation. So far, all of these shades have had great pigmentation. I'm very impressed. It's going back and forth windshield wiper motions first. And then I'm going to work on blending this upwards to use as my transition. I kind of want to have this shade just peek outside of the other shades that I laid down. Wayne Goss number 18 and the shade Soft and Sweet. This is probably not the shade you guys were expecting me to pick up. But I want to just try something different. Again, pigmentation. I'm really feeling this palette so far. Really happy with it. I'm just impressed. That's one dip. I need to tell you what I'm doing. I'm putting it into the crease and then lightly blending upwards. I mean, that took 2 seconds. It's like, boom, done. Easy. Same brush, and I'm going to go in with Hot Tamale. Again, directly into the crease. Back and forth windshield wiper motions. Small circular motions to blend it up because I do not want this shade to go up as high as the last one. MAC 221 and Midnight Snack. I am first going to apply this into the crease. Windshield wiper motions. And I'm not going to take a lot of this product, or this color, because I'm going to apply this all over the lid. I just don't want there to be a harsh line. So before I add it to the lid, I'm blending it into the crease and then just barely upwards first. I want to make sure I'm getting the shade all the way on the outer corner, all the way to the inner corner. Same shade on an ESEM W21. And I am going to start packing this all over the lid. The shade is not a metallic, really. It's a drier formula. It has little specks of glitter in there. It adheres well to my Anastasia primer, but I could see this one being a little bit more difficult to use on like a set eye. Say you used concealer or any other primer and then you set it with a bone colored shadow or a skin color shadow. I feel like this shade would probably give you some issues packing it on, but because I have something for it to grip onto, it's doing well. No extra product on my Wayne Goss number 18. Just going right around the edges of everything, making sure it's nice and blended out. I think I called this shade something else earlier, but it's Butterscotch. And I'm going to take it on my BOM 47 from Royal and Lang Nickel. I am going to apply this right underneath the lower lash line, and I'm going to take it down pretty far. Same brush in the shade Cinnamon. I'm going to take this just a little bit closer to the lash line. I just want that orangey shade to peek through a little bit. Wayne Goss number 5 and Midnight Snack. And I'm sure you guessed it, I'm going to take this as close to the lower lash line as possible. But I want it to match up to the top. Make sure you connect this outer corner. I cleaned up my fallout because it was bothering me. And now I'm going to go in with Lick the Spoon on a BK Beauty 204. I am going to apply this right to the inner corner, and that will complete this look. I will be going off camera, washing my face, and starting all over with the other palette, but really like how both of these looks turned out. If I was going to add liner to this one, it would be Milk Boss liner to the top and bottom inner rim. Before I start the look, I want to let you guys know that when I primed my eyes, I took this shade right here on my MAC 252, and I just went right underneath my brow like this. That's how I always set and kind of blend out the brow, is with a bone colored shadow, and this is kind of perfect. It's a little bit darker than my MAC Blanc type, and I feel like it matches my skin tone really well. But anywho, that's not in my transition area or anything like that. It's just right here, and then I like to put it right here. So that is it. Moving on. Sonia G Blender Pro, and I'm going to go in with this yellow. I want to see how this differs on the eye from the last one, the other palette. So I'm going into the crease, and then I'm going to start blending upward. Again, this is a really nice mustardy yellow, not too bright. Now I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender blending brush and this shade right here. I'm going to start this on the outer corner. And some of you might be noticing something missing from this brush. I talked about how much I hated the little roller balls at the end. It's gone. My husband ripped them off. All of my brushes, he literally just pulled really hard and they all came off. So now I can actually get some use out of these because they don't feel so weighted at the end. But anywho, outer corner, kind of taking it halfway on the lid, and then I'm taking it into the crease and blending upwards. It really is such a shame that they did that to these brushes because the price point is too high for the little gimmicky ball, but the brush in of itself is nice. I'm just glad I can actually use them now. It's not like I wasn't able to before, I just didn't want to. Now I'm going to go in with this shade on a Smith 247. This is one of those shades that have a little sparkle in them. It's a matte, but then it has like little sparkles. I'm getting a little bit of fallout with this one. I didn't with the last two. I'm placing this on the very outer corner, dragging it about halfway over the lid. And I might take this up just a little bit on this outer portion to smoke it out just a tiny little bit. Not as much as I did the last shade. And I'm not going to bring it all the way to the inner corner either. MAC 242, now I'm going to grab this shade. I am going to place this on the front portion of the lid. And then I'm going to tap over that darker brown. Just kind of merging them together. Same brush, I just cleaned it off, and I'm going to go back in with this shade. I'm going to clean up my brow arch and drag out the excess to also kind of clean up the rest of the eye. Wayne Goss number 27S and this shade. I do wish that this palette had the names on the front instead of the back. They are on the back, but that's just too much work for me. But anyway, that's why I keep saying this shade. I'm just taking this right along the lower lash line. I wiped off the excess from my brush and I'm going to go in with this top shimmer. I am going to place just a little bit of this, not too much, just a little bit to brighten up this inner corner. And then I'm going to go add on some kind of liner. I'm not sure which one yet, but I will let you guys know. And then just mascara. I thought I was going to do something fancier in my waterline, like break out a brown or like something else, but nope. I went in with my Ride or Die Milk Boss liner and then just mascara to finish everything off. Everything else on my face, as always, will be linked down below. For my thoughts on the palettes before I get into the comparisons, I'm going to start off with the Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. I really was not feeling this. Again, I think it's one of those cases of seeing something online, promo pics. Somebody else needs to be taking these things. I'm telling you, somebody else needs to be taking them. I don't think that this is really extra spicy, but whenever I apply them to the eyes, I can kind of see it. I see the extra spicy on my eyes, whereas in the palette, I look at it, I'm like, okay, like whatever. It's pretty. I like the colors in here, but the whole extra spicy thing was like, I don't know. It just made me think that it was supposed to be something more than what it actually was. But like I said, when I put these on my eyes, pigmentation galore, blendability, I love this. I am impressed. And I know a lot of times people think, oh, you're always impressed by things that you don't expect to be impressed by. And it wasn't that I didn't think that I was going to like the formula or anything like that. I just, by the promo pictures, it just didn't really scream to me like I needed it. But I thought that, hey, I want to compare it to the last year's palette. And I also just kind of want to pick it up and see if there's anything extra spicy about it. And I have to say that I like this one better than I do the original one. Did I get a little bit of fallout? Yes. Do I wish that some of these shades were a little bit more on the metallic side? Yes. And I'm speaking of Midnight Snack and Spicy Mammy. When I first was like doing my tutorial, I really did call that Spicy Miami, and I had to go back and I realized, I was like, why would that be called Spicy Miami? That doesn't even make sense. So I actually went back and looked at it. This texture, it works out nicely. I really didn't think that it was going to, just based off of the texture. Again, it's one of those things that I was surprised by recently, and not just with Too Faced, but different companies all over. I have been impressed with shades that I thought that were just really not going to work on the eyes. And I always like to take those shades and use them in my tutorials, because I feel like you kind of need to use the bad shades and not just the good ones. Like when you swatch it and you're like, oh, that's a beautiful creamy metallic, I'm going to use that. That's amazing and all, but I want to know if there's duds in here as well. So when I touch something and I see that I'm a little iffy about it, I'm always inclined to use it. So I was really happily surprised that those worked out well. Now, I mentioned in the tutorial that I felt like this shade right here would not work as well on a set eye, and I stand by that because it's a metallic kind. It's a drier metallic. It's weird. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's like a dry metallic formula, and the same goes for this one, but this one is a little bit more on the dry side, but they worked well. They really did. I love the colors in here. I love this shade. I like everything. I like everything in here. Moving on to the mini palette. Now, for whatever reason, I just want to call this the mini gingerbread. I know it's not the mini gingerbread, but that's what I want to call it. The hot buttered rum palette. This is tiny. And let me show you up against the other one right here so you can see the difference in the two. I like that. So it's going to be great for travel. All of the shades that I used worked really, really well. And I really like that they added this shade right here, because you can kind of create a little bit more of a neutral warm, which is kind of what I did today, instead of it being so overwhelmingly warm. I love that color. I would put that all over my lid into the crease and just smoke it out and use it just by itself. This shade right here, I really like just for my skin tone personally, because the Anastasia primer, I love it. I'm not going to stop using it. And even MAC Blanc Type is what I usually use to go right underneath my brow. But it makes it very, very, very white up here. This brings this area to my skin tone, which I love. And it's very nice and creamy. Great. Look, that is over top of a stained finger. It's just really good. All the shades in here are nicely pigmented. I know I didn't use this one or this one on camera, and that is because I didn't want to end up with the same look that I did with the Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. I wanted to do something different, and I really like this look. I like the way all of the looks came out, but this is a really great price point, great quality. I would definitely recommend it. Now let's get into the comparisons. I'm going to start off by doing comparisons of these two first. This is the Gingerbread Extra Spicy, and this is the Hot Buttered Rum. And I forgot to mention that this one does have a smell as well. I don't know if it smells like hot buttered rum or not. I know it smells good. I've never smelled hot buttered rum, so I couldn't tell you. But let's start off with these two. The first shade I'm going to compare is this one right here, and this one right here. See my cute robe? I'm so comfortable right now. This one is from Gingerbread, and this is from the Buttered Rum. You can see this one's just a little bit more white, whereas this one has just a little bit more of that like creamy, not yellow, but not as white as this one. The next shade I want to compare is this one right here. They're so hard to get to sit still. And then well, I know this one's brown, so let's do this one. Gingerbread and buttered rum. I want to go ahead and get into these golds. So I'm going to do the buttered rum and spicy gingerbread. Gingerbread is definitely darker than the one that is in the buttered rum. I'm pretty excited to get into these yellows because just looking at them, they look like they would be pretty close, but let's see. I got a little bit of the shade underneath it on this one, but as you can see, the gingerbread again is deeper and more of that mustardy yellow than what the buttered rum is. The last shades I want to compare are this one right here and this one right here. The buttered rum is a little bit more golden, where this one is kind of like a champagne. I think that is it when it comes to these palettes. I don't see anything else that is going to be similar. So now I'm going to move on to the gingerbread palette. Side-by-side comparison, gingerbread extra spicy and the original gingerbread. Let's get to swatching. So the first shade, obviously, I'm going to do these two. Powdered sugar and vanilla wafers. The one in the original is just slightly lighter than the one in the new. Over here, I'm going to swatch these two. So I'm going to take Frostbite Me and whatever the shade is called. I really wish these were written on the front like the other palettes. So Frostbite Me, you can see, is more of like a topper, one of those that has like a sheen to it. And this one is much more pigmented, like a classic metallic. I'm looking to see what else could possibly be similar. There's definitely more differences than I originally thought, but I'm going to take these two. So Gingerbread Glam. I know I'm mixing up fingers here. I shouldn't have done that. And Spice is Nice. And as it has been the case, the one in the new Gingerbread Spicy is darker. Now I'm going to go in for these lighter pink shades. I think you can already tell this one's a little bit more peachy pink, and this one's more of a cool tone pink, but let's swatch them anyway. This is Look at My Cookie and Plenty of Dough. Like I said, pinker, peachier. Now I'm putting these side by side like this because I really don't think that there's anything else comparable. I feel like they are different enough that they don't even need to be swatched. However, there is one shade in here that I want to swatch up against the mini palette. Gingerbread Latte and whatever this shade is. Gingerbread Latte is definitely lighter, while this one is darker and more cool tone. It looks like I still have a little bit of glitter. I might have actually picked that up. Yeah, I think I got it whenever I swatched that, but there's those. Now, as far as these go, the hot buttered rum against the original gingerbread, I think that's it for swatches as well. Again, not anything else I feel like is necessary. Maybe I'll do just, again, good measure. I don't think this is the same, but this shade. It's so hard to get a hold of these. And Spiked Eggnog. Spiked Eggnog is much lighter. Moving on to the Sweet Peach palette. I love the way this one smells. Now, I wanted to grab this because I was wondering what In a Pinch and Candied Peach look like against each other. I can already tell they're not the same, but we're going to swatch them anyway. So, Candied Peach and In a Pinch, sorry. Candied Peach from the Peach palette is much lighter and definitely more on the coral tone. Then I think I'm going to do Summer Yum and Gingerbread Glam. Definitely not the same. Quick little take of these side by side. I don't think I need to swatch anything else. These are definitely not similar enough. Yeah. So if you have the Sweet Peach palette, you're not getting duplicates in the extra spicy gingerbread. Buttered rum and Sweet Peach, again, not the same. One more palette I want to compare, one of my all-time favorites. This is the Chocolate Gold palette, and this is the extra spicy. what do I want to compare? So I want to compare Live Cocoa. I'm sorry, that says Love Cocoa. And Drizzle It. Drizzle It is more of like that rosy gold. This one's more cool toned. Let's do Old Money and Half Baked. There those are side by side. Again, not the same. Rolling in Dough and Vanilla Wafers. Look at my hands, they're disgusting. I think I say that every time, whatever. Rollin' in Dough is definitely a little bit brighter than the other. However, I mean, on the eye, these are basically going to be doing the same thing. Now there's one more comparison I want to do, and it is of Famous and Candy Queen. Chocolate Gold, definitely brighter and more gold. And then this is the Gingerbread. Yeah, you can see the differences. Over here, I want to swatch this shade and Gold Money. There you have it. Again, this one is more yellow gold. And then lastly, I went ahead and swatched these two. The one in the gold palette is a bit more bright. I'm going to give you a quick little side-by-side action of these two, and then I'm going to put them all together. Here they are, and just so you guys remember which palette is which, this is the original Gingerbread, Gingerbread Extra Spicy, Hot Buttered Rum, Sweet Peach, and then the Chocolate Gold palette. Now, these are some of my favorites when it comes to Too Faced. The Sweet Peach has been a love of mine for such a long time, but it definitely doesn't compare to the colors over here. These are much warmer. I don't think that these two are the same. And if I was going to pick one, it would definitely be the Extra Spicy. There's just something about it. There's more pigmentation. I like the colors a little bit more. I feel like it's just more impactful overall. It's beautiful. So if I was going to pick between these, I would definitely go with the spicy. I really do like this little guy right here. I've always loved the chocolate gold. So good. So yeah, let me rank these just really quickly from favorite to least favorite. I think I would actually pick, I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but I think I would actually pick the Extra Spicy first, Sweet Peach, the Gold palette, Hot Buttered Rum, and then Gingerbread. Yep, that's my final answer. All right, you guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorials, the comparisons, and everything. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.